Hello friends, this is Scott, and it's fall here down at the homestead. And here's a little bit of a canyon view of the colors changing. And again, it is the end of September, and the mountains are very pretty, and it's time for everybody to get up in the mountains and enjoy the hunting seasons. But yeah, it's been milder temperatures, and again, we had a hot summer, but not nearly as hot. We didn't have the 100-degree days like we did last year, all the way into September. But this year, it's been warm, but it hasn't been terribly hot. So looking forward to a nice, hopefully long fall, so we can get some of this extra crops that I put in. The second plantings of corn and the potatoes and some other things. Hopefully, we'll get a harvest. And fingers crossed, the forecast looks favorable that we'll be able to get some more crops picked before the cold shuts us down here down in this higher elevation. We're about 6,300 feet above sea level. But today's video is about the impact of the livestock on the pasture. And as you see, they have kept it grazed down the whole summer. And I've only been watering once a week, and I use a soaker kind of ahead. And it's been keeping it green, but they've definitely overgrazed. And with cattle, anything on the other side of the fence that looks good to eat, they put intense pressure on it. And as you see, my pasture tree has been protected by my little quasi-invention with my fencing wire that I put up, and I've done a couple of videos on it. But here's proof that this system does work, and I'm going to show you a little bit closer. But my two main issues with livestock and trying to grow a shade tree is that they'll kill the tree, number one, eat it, and break it. And number two, the grasses all grow up in the ring, so you have to do a lot of maintenance. And as you see there, I don't see any grass underneath that tree. I've not done any maintenance on this tree. Now, I do need to get in there, and I got to prune it, make it look like a tree. I've just kind of let it go. I have not done any pruning on it whatsoever. So that needs to be done. But as you see, the animals are interested in it. They have nothing else really to eat, just a little bit of grass. And they just sit there and stare at the tree, wondering how are we going to get in there. But cattle being low grazers, they're able to push the fence in, but they can't get to the tree. And I've got higher fencing because the horse is a higher feeder, and the horse hasn't done anything to reach this tree either. So it's been a win-win, and I've had this fencing up for a couple of years now, and it's further proof that this type of fencing will work. I have a son that's a mechanical engineering student, and I have an invention in mind that's going to be a lot more professionally looking than this and a lot more heavy duty. But it's the same concept. I want to be able to have the animals graze, get underneath there to be able to graze to the base of the tree almost. And then I keep the grasses down so I don't have to clean up, and as well as keeping them off the tree so they don't kill it. And until this tree is big enough to defend itself, I guess. But yeah, livestock are hard on anything in the pasture that they can see. But here's a closer look at my invention. And the cows showed me the way, really. And again, I need to do a lot of pruning. This is an alley elm tree. And as you can see, they were able to push in the fence, but they run into some of the T-posts I have in the middle, right next to the tree. And they're able to push the fence in and eat, but they can't get to the tree. But they challenge it a lot. And again, if they break this wire, they'll get to it to some extent. So I'll probably have to firm this up a little bit this fall just to make sure that it stays good until I get my invention designed and built. But it's doing it. I mean, this is an effective way to make sure that you don't have to have a big weedy mess. And if I have weeds behind a ring, that's just going to give the animals more incentive to try to push into that tree and get to that tree. So yeah, my job is to deter. And I've got a new way in the fall to help deter. Again, they don't have a lot to eat in the pasture, but I do have some things to give them as the garden is coming to fruition. And the first thing that was kind of funny is the horses had corn stalks and corn silks in the past, but all these animals didn't. The other two cows have not had that yet. So they come over here and they're snacking on these leaves, and this was all the shuckings from my first corn picking. And yeah, as you see here, they're not. They're tasting it. They're kind of like, what is this? But like anything, you need to have experience with it. And then they started to think, that wasn't too bad. So they start coming over here again, and again they're taking their sweet time. But something kind of tasted good, and they're thinking about it a little bit more. And it's just funny, the evolution of these cows and their behavior. Because, again, they'd walk over here. And, they're always interested in my business and what I'm doing out here. And they always come. And they're still leery of me, but they'll stay fairly close. But, I'm starting to bring treats. And so I'm not the big boogeyman. As you see, I'm trying to coax the black wagyu to come in and sniff my hand at least. And I've been able to get him to do that a few times. The other one, not so much. But they're starting to realize that these corn stalks are pretty tasty. And So now I've created a monster because just like last year, every time I come in the backyard, here they come because they know there's something good there and they figured it out that this is worth it. And they're even, this one's funny, it's doing the discus here. So yeah, they not only enjoyed the corn, they enjoyed playing with the stalks and yeah, scaring each other with the stalks and they're really enjoying it. So every time I'm out here, I pull a couple stalks and they've almost eaten the whole first planting of corn. I've only got, I think, one more treat feeding for them. And then the second planting of corn should come to fruition because the temperatures look good and it's about ready. The ears are almost ready. So I think I'll be picking that and I'll be, feeding them some more of the second planting of corn. So we'll stay tuned for that. But yeah, they love this corn. And because of my ability to feed them and get them to attract them to come over, they're a lot more friendly. And I'm able to walk out in the pasture. They show no signs of aggression to me whatsoever. I can walk. They're not running away from me now. They'll stand their ground. I can almost walk up to them. If I get within about 5 feet, they'll, like that one, we'll walk away a little bit. But yeah, they're not afraid of me, and they know that I'm not the boogeyman, and I'm here to maybe bring them some good stuff. So yeah, all's good in the pasture. As you see, that pasture is really green. We did overgraze it terribly, but it didn't damage the pasture at all, I don't believe. And I don't even think I have to mow it this fall. There's some high spots where the manures are that they won't eat, but overall they've kept this pasture looking at least mowed down, so I have not had to do anything. But again, every time I'm out here, turn around, they're right here, so they come running. So, well, anyway, the livestock are doing well. They're keeping the pasture nice and green with their fertility, and yeah, we got some new friends that are getting to be a little more at home. I'm going to end this video. I had a kind of an interesting lightning storm, just one huge cloud that with a lot of internal lights going on. So I'm going to end this video with the sights and the sounds for a couple minutes of this storm cloud and enjoying the cool evenings down here. And again, this was a couple weeks ago, so it was probably mid-September. But yeah, it's beautiful. The weather is just awesome. I'm looking forward to having fires outside again. All burn restrictions are, I think, eased, and everything's starting to cool down, and we don't have the fire danger that we usually do. But yeah, these lightning storms, they'll kick up some fires still occasionally. But beautiful night, and there's a little bit of light show. So I hope you like this kind of content, and enjoy the rest of this video for a couple minutes and watching the light show. And please subscribe if you like what you see. I've got lots going on here in the fall. I've got a lot of more picking and harvesting to do with preserving, and then I've got a lot of chores to do. And I've got to button this place up for winter and maybe even get a couple new projects done. So stay tuned for that. And I've got to be hauling a lot more manures from the pastures and getting my garden some more fertility because, yeah, I think that's been an issue. I made a lot of new beds, and I got to get the soil life in there so that we can grow good crops. Well, thanks for watching. And, yeah, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.